What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
And today on The Great Debaters, getting into some brand Nubian. All right, Amir, so we're back here on The Great Debaters. As always, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, like our content, share it, talk about it, be about it, each one, teach one. We appreciate your support and getting us this far. Hit that subscribe button. If you haven't done that, you could also hit the join button. Become a membership here on Unique Access Entertainment. That helps us keep coming to y'all as often as possible with as many interviews, as many episodes of The Great Debaters, commentaries, all the different things we do on the channel. So please subscribe, which is free, and join as a member if you're so inclined. We got 3 membership tiers, so you can support us in those different ways. Now, Amir, getting into some brand Nubian today, man. In God We Trust, their second album, 1992. Grand Puba's gone. Sincere takes a more prominent role. Lord Jamal, Sadat X are dominating the microphone. What are your recollections of first getting into In God We Trust?
I remember reading about that before listening to this. I listened to their debut before this. And I remember thinking, like, oh, this is going to be a drop-off for sure. I was like, oh, wow, how would the group recoup? Because, especially Grand Puba leaving, I mean, that's a big person to lose. So I remember thinking that, and then I also thought it was interesting because this cover does not have them on it. So I also just thought that was very interesting. Was that because they didn't want to show that Grand Puba wasn't in the group anymore? Like, I don't know. Like, these are just things that kind of circle in my head. Like, did they want to kind of hide that fact and just put Brand Nubian on it? These are interesting, like, marketing decisions, you know, and artist decisions. But I thought that I listened to the album, and believe it or not, I actually enjoyed it more than their debut album, which I know is probably
That's
an unpopular opinion.
Shocking.
Yeah. Particularly like the Sonics. But anyways, let's get into it. My first pick here is actually the first song here, Allahu Akbar, and I have the single right here as well on vinyl. This one, they show who's in the group, though.
Yes.
So yeah, this song, I find it also interesting because, you know, you have the first song called Allahu Akbar, then you have it also being a single, and then I know that, and Soren, maybe you know a little bit more about this than me, I know you do, I don't recall really seeing a song, you know, we had heard of like the N.W.A and Nation of Islam and Farrakhan and all this up to this point in rap multiple times from multiple artists.
Yeah.
However, I don't remember really seeing it as explicit as this, especially me growing up. My father is Muslim, so I'd heard, you know, what they sample, what you hear in the beginning of the song, I'd heard that growing up. You know, so that when I heard that, it takes me down memory lane. The vocal sample they use there, which is also, I just think it just sounds awesome.
It does.
Maybe I'm a little biased, but
No,
I think
it
it just
does.
sounds awesome,
It does.
especially when the beat comes in and everything. It's hard. But with that being said, I don't think I had seen like Allahu Akbar or the religious aspect really put on full front like quite this was with a single as well as track 1 for your album. I found that interesting. So that was cool. And then you hear Sadat X, you hear Lord Jamar, you hear the beat settle in. I'm like, dude, this is just hard, man. Like, this song is freaking awesome, the way they just start off. And then you also get more themes like this, like the meaning of the 5%, right? Like, and then you just have more of it just throughout the album. But man, I mean, if not for nothing else, this beat is so excellent. Shout out to Brand Nubian, who's producing their stuff. Sadat X, also just one of the more interesting, awesome voices in hip-hop history. It's quite unique. When you hear him, you know exactly who
Very
it is.
distinctive.
Very distinct. Lord Jamar drops some bars on it. Dope chorus. I just think it's a very strong song. Interesting choice for a single, granted, like the name, like I said, but I think it paid off, and it's just freaking awesome.
This is also one of my top 3 songs on In God We Trust. I believe this is the second best or the best beat on the album. It is phenomenal, and it's in particular the bass line that really, I think, is the lifeblood of a lot of songs, in addition to the percussion, of course. But the bass line on this song is amazing. If you get a chance and you have good headphones and a quality system, if you can't listen to it loud on a quality system, listen to it with your headphones and you can like feel it like just undulate and go throughout the whole song. It's amazing. And then I got to see Brand Nubian in this incarnation perform at Bowie State University after Grand Puba had left. We had no idea we just thought he didn't come to the show. We were like, what's going on? It was after the debut album and before In God We Trust, so we didn't know like where is Grand Puba. And then to see them come back, and I'd obviously heard singles, of course, on the album before I'd heard Allahu Akbar, but hearing this to jump off the album, the beat is so hard, sonically it's very different than anything on All For One, and I was just like, this is the new Brand Nubian. Oh my God, it's like a whole different direction, sonically, thematically, attitudinally. It was just, everything was going to be totally different. Allahu Akbar shows that right off the gate. It's an amazing song, and I do like the force. Lord Jamal seems to have gotten increasingly and dramatically more upset. Something must have happened, but he was very forceful, and you get that right out the gate here on Allahu Akbar, and I just thought it's amazing, and the beat is just so powerful. It's thunderous, and I think that drives the song. And then when you get into what Sadat X and Lord Jamal are saying, very powerful, very powerful. So that's also my first pick. Amir, what's your second pick on In God We Trust?
Second pick is going to be definitely a more militant song on the album. That is Pass the Gat. I love this beat, man. Okay. I love the Pass the Gat beat. I think it's awesome. I love the chorus. Pass the Gat, gotta say strap, I ended up on my motherfucking back. Like, I just think, like, they're not stepping down on nobody. They're staying strapped. They're just, like, this Brand Nubian is crazy. And, man, dude, I love that beat. I love Sadat X on it. And also, like, how his verse is ending, but then you hear stuff coming in as his verse is ending, and then you hear, give me the gat so I can smoke some motherfucker. Like, all this stuff, and then you get into the chorus. I just think it's, like, a clever song. And then you get, like, Lord Jamar, you know, this is from the God that don't eat pig, Lord. And then he says, Lord J.A. motherfucking M.A.R. Like, I just think they just have swagger. I think they know, like, this is a beat that they can go hard over. Like, I just think that the stars aligned for this song to come to be. And I think they execute it very well. I just love this beat. That chorus is awesome. I just think all boxes are checked with this track, and super awesome song. My second pick.
That's not my second pick on In God We Trust, even though I appreciate it for the reasons Amir just outlined. Mine is actually Black and Blue. And this song is a police brutality song, but Brand Nubian takes a different look at it in the sense that they're focusing on the black cops that are exacting the same type of punishment that the white police that are normally the subjects of a lot of these types of songs are, you know, the subject matter of. Brand Nubian flips it and shows and details how some of the black cops are doing the same things that their white counterparts are doing to black and brown people throughout the United States. So for me, I thought it was a powerful song, one, because it added that extra wrinkle to it, and also, you know, it's like the levels and layers of the commentary of the, you know, black cops exacting the same type of punishment on black people is horrific. You have the police brutality angle of it is horrific. You have the dudes just trying to get by, getting harassed and all this stuff. It applies to everyone and anyone. And then they're putting it on it from a black pride, a black nation, a black consciousness look, which I thought was very insightful and interesting, because on the one hand, we see a lot of this stuff, and of course, N.W.A, you know, broke the doors open with Fuck the Police, and we get all these other songs. New York artists had a lot of these songs, but didn't get as much attention, other than arguably like Black Cop or Sound of the Police by KRS-One. So for Black and Blue to be there, you know, we had Friendly Game of Baseball, Main Source, Constables, D.O.C. There's a lot of songs, but I thought Black and Blue, In God We Trust, it fits the militant vibe of the album. It fits the, you know, knowledge of self angles. It just, all these different things. and it also sadly still resonates today with all the police brutality we see time and time again on the news. So it's a timeless song to me, sadly. It's a very powerful song. And then I thought the storytelling from both Lord Jamal and Sadat X on the song, I just thought was very powerful. So that's my second pick. Amir, what's your third pick on In God We Trust?
My third and final pick was actually coming down to two songs in particular. And I'm just going to go with this one right here, Love Me or Leave Me Alone, another single from the album.
I'm shocked given the subject matter, Amir.
Awesome song. Yeah. So, I remember, and the other song it was up against was Punk Show Up to Get Beat Down, by the way. But, I really just like the feel of the instrumental on this one. Especially like Allahu Akbar and Pass the Gat are two very different songs sonically than Love Me or Leave Me Alone. So I like that. Just taking on like a different angle, hearing them on a different type of song on the album. I mean, Black and Blue also is different. That's an awesome song.
That's incredible.
Great song. So in Love Me or Leave Me Alone, once, like I said, I like the instrumental. I also like the chorus. Super simple. Gets the point across right there. And then you hear Jamar and Sadat X talking about, exactly what you think they'd be talking about on a track like this. And the cool thing is, like, on the first two songs I had mentioned that were my two picks, you hear Sadat X with a long verse and Lord Jamar with a long verse, and that's it. They just have a verse apiece. On this one, in the beginning parts of the song, you have them trading off, like, some bars, maybe 4 bars, 6 bars apiece, whatever it is. A couple of those, and then you get like longer verses from them each. So I think the song structure was interesting in that regard, which I definitely took note of, and then it also kind of also made me want to replay it a little bit more because of that. Tricks the brain a little bit in that regard. But yeah, Love Me or Leave Me Alone is definitely just one of those songs that I like. It also just has a certain feel to it that I want to revisit it. And yeah, it's also just a very catchy phrase, love me or leave me alone. I think it's catchy. Like, I'm sure a lot of people had that as like MySpace statuses back in the day and all that, and Facebook statuses or whatever. Like, probably even on Instagram they have those status things now. Oh, yeah. So people are probably doing that too. But they probably thought Jay-Z did it first in rap. But I don't know. Shout out to Jay-Z. I love that line too. But that's my last pick. I'm interested in what your third pick is, Soren.
Love Me or Leave Me Alone is not my third pick. My third pick is Punk's Jump Up to Get Beat Down, which quite possibly is my favorite brand Nubian song.
Really?
Quite possibly.
Didn't know that.
It's, first of all, let's start with the beat from Diamond, a.k.a. Diamond D, a.k.a. Phenomenal Production. Just, man, everything about that beat I love, and it just, like Allahu Akbar, I just think the forcefulness of Punk's Jump Up to Get beat down sonically is phenomenal. And as I had done recently, it's kind of interesting that with one of our recent episodes with Vince Staples with Ramona Park Broke My Heart, Punk's Jump Up to Get beat down, Allahu Akbar, the first and last, the last and first songs on this album, In God We Trust, and Vince Staples, it was the beginning, middle, end on his album, Ramona Park Broke My Heart. So I thought it was interesting that, just a coincidence, but unusual nonetheless. But sonically, Diamond and the album is really just produced by Brand Nubian by and large, other than this song. So that's also distinctive sonically. But then forcefulness, lyrically, Sadat X and Lord Jamal are just like unleashing lyrical terrorism on here, man. And it's just like, wow, what is going on? These dudes are going off. And
yeah,
I just love it. I love the attitude. I love the force of it. I love the power and the anger and the fury and the rage. And it just sounds so good. And it just sounds in line with the rest of the album. And it really is, to me, like the theme song of In God We Trust. Like, this is what we're standing on. This is who we are. This is what we're about. And, if you don't like it, you can leave. But I just thought Punk's Jump Up to Get Beat Down is such an amazing song, top to bottom, front to back, side to side. And as Amir had with the 12-inch, it has the remix with Diamond D where Diamond D raps on it, which I was very disappointed in some ways it didn't make it onto the actual album In God We Trust. But on the flip side, for those of people like myself who at the time were buying the 12 inches to get all these extra versions of songs and remixes and stuff that didn't make the album, I was glad that it existed to where I could actually get it and buy it and have it, because I love Diamond D, love Brand Nubian, and to get him on there was a nice bonus and definitely made me buy that 12 inch back in the day. So that's that. You have anything you want to add before we wrap up on Punch Up to Get Beat Down, Amir?
No, it's a great song. It was fighting to be in my 3, and like I said, I mean, that and Love Really Me Alone were really flipping, but I just had to pick one. So great album.
Great album. You guys got my top 3 picks. You got Amir's. Hit us up in that comment section. Let us know what your top 3 picks are on Brand Nubian's In God We Trust. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, like our content, share it. If you haven't already, also you can join as a member. Please support us in that way so we can keep growing and get to that #1 spot in the game here on Unique Access Entertainment. I'm Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
Great debaters, y'all. Shout out Brand Nubian.
In the beginning, hip-hop was ruled by the East Coast. Then the West Coast rose to prominence thanks to gangster rap.
Straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube.
Hip-hop changed the world. Gangster rap changed the narrative.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
And then changed the world again.
Cause I'll come and take your life away.
The history of gangster rap features unheard stories, unseen photos and documents, all with exclusive interviews from the founders and players who shaped gangster rap.
I think a real gangster rapper has to scare you a little bit.
The history of gangster rap written by veteran rap journalist Soren Baker. In stores now.
Yo, what up? This is DJ Quick. Be sure to pick up my homeboy Soren Baker's book, The History of Gangster Rap, if you really want to know what we do.